Hello everyone, my name is Silvanus, God bless, and today I'll be taking you on how to properly prepare your manifest for upload in the Sage EBS system. For you to be able to properly upload your files or upload your manifest in the Sage EBS system, there are some rules or certain things that you must do, such as properly aligning the headers to match that of the database. So, for instance, this is the raw file or this is the raw manifest that you receive. There are some columns here that are not necessary. If you look at it, you see that we have a lot of columns here from the beginning to the last. You see that we have a lot of columns, and for instance, the header in A1 is SSVD, B is vessel code, vessel name, and the rest of it. So while trying to upload this to your Sage EBS platform, you have to streamline it because some of these headers are not necessary, and if you upload it with this, it will definitely give you errors. So this is an example of a vehicle manifest that has already been prepared. If you look at the headers in A1, this one is prepared. The previous one I showed is not ready and you cannot upload it. That is this one. But the last one, at the end of the day, this is something that we'll be having. You see in the first column, you will see the vessel name, you will see the voyage number, you will see the port of discharge, port of load, and the rest of it, all the information that are required for you to upload. So we'll be discussing in details how to prepare it and what each of these headers means, if they are required in the system, if they are optional, or if they are mandatory. So let's get started. I have already loaded a file, a manifest that is still raw and cannot be uploaded, just like I mentioned earlier. So the first thing I want to do here is I'll click on new sheet in order for me to have a reference of the old one and the new one in the same file, so that I'll not be going up and down changing files. So I'll create a new sheet. Once I create a new sheet, whatever method that works faster for you is okay, but you make sure you create a new sheet, a clean one, and you go to your already prepared header. I select all the headers, I copy, then go to the one we are working on and paste it. So here we have all the headers here, the vessel name, the voyage number, the port of discharge, port of load, BA number, and cargo ID, and the rest of them in a separate sheet. So what to do here is we'll copy each of these columns from our raw file. We'll copy it from here and we'll paste in the new sheet. But before that, I would like to save my file in order not to be caught unaware. I click on Save As, select a folder, and you give it a name. So let's assume this is the name we want to save it. It is necessary that I give it this name in order for me to easily track the file I'm working on. So what we have here is Sage_EBS, Irene, which is the vessel name, the container, which is the type of manifest we are working on, container manifest January 7th, 2020. So this allows me to easily track my file whenever I want to reference it. Maybe I'm looking for it, I can just type Sage EBS Irene container manifest and it will definitely bring it up. Though this doesn't really matter, but it is necessary you name your file in such a way that you'll be able to track it easily. And I save it as a CSV file. The accepted format in the Sage EBS is TSV, Excel file, CSV, and a text file. So I prefer saving it as CSV file. This is what I have here, and click on Save. Okay. So we have a new tab here, which is already having the name of the file that we've saved. With this, I can easily modify this one without affecting the old file, which is this one, without really affecting it. So the first thing I want to do here is talk about the vessel name. The vessel name is the name of the vessel that has been entered in the EBS system already. So the vessel name we are working on here is Irene Rainbow. So I just select Irene Rainbow. Let's just work on 10. Let's just work on 20 rather. I copy it, I move to my file, and I paste it. So in the first column here we have the vessel name. The next column we want to talk about here is the voyage number. The voyage number of the vessel can be from 1 character to 8 characters, and it's the voyage number that has already been entered in the Sage EBS system. So the voyage number we have here must match what we have in the Sage EBS system. So what we have here is 040N. I copy it, still 10. And paste. The next thing we want to talk about is the port of discharge. The port of discharge is different from terminal of discharge. So for instance, what we are focusing on here is NG tin can. So the NG tin can is a port of discharge and not the terminal of discharge. So we have a standard, there is a standard of naming ports, which is the ISO standard of port naming, which can be found in the reference sheet. So what we have here is the NGTIN. I copy here and paste in my port of discharge. Now if you look at what we have here in the vessel naming convention and the rest of it, you see that we have the V in capital letter, we have underscore, and we have the N in capital letter. So wherever there is a space in the naming, you use underscore in order for it to match what is there in the database. And it must start, each letter or each word must start with a capital letter in the header section of it. So here we have the vessel name, vessel underscore name, voyage number, VOY underscore number. We don't have to go into typing full voyage number. So everything here must match, and I always advise you copy this header, which will be already made available to you. You copy it and paste in your new file that you are working with. So the next column we want to talk about here is the port of load. The port of load is the port that particular vessel was loaded. So what we have here is a standard codes for each vessel. Standard code for each port rather. So I copy it here. And paste in my sheet. What we have next is the BL number. So this is where you copy or you enter the BL number. I copy it from here. And paste. One thing you should note here is that the BL number here must be in full, and the maximum character is 50. So it must be in full and it must be exactly what is contained in the BL that you must have received. So the next one we have is the cargo ID. So the purpose of this cargo ID is for the system to easily identify or select or query each BL according to the cargo ID. So the cargo ID here can be either the vessel, the vehicle chassis number, or the container number. For the case of the container number, it must be exactly 11 characters of the container number, but for the case of vehicle it can be up to 50 characters depending on what we have there. So we go to the container number and we copy it, paste on the cargo ID column. The next one we have there is the operator code. The operator code is only 3 characters long and it must be exactly what is in the BL. So the operator code we have here is COS, which is Costco. We copy it, and we paste. The next one is the shipper name. So the shipper name is where you enter the name of the shipper. So I'll just run through that one. I copy it here, shipper name. The shipper address is what you have next. So in most cases, the shipper name and the shipper address is the same. In most cases, but in a case where there is difference, you just enter the right shipper address. Then the next one we have there is the consignee name. And the consignee address. So these fields are required, but they are not mandatory. It is necessary that you add these fields Then what we have next is the notify name and the notify address. I'll just copy and paste. The next column we have here is import export. Now this field is a field that is restricted and there can only be two choices, either import or export. So from what we have here is import, and whatever you're typing must be in capital letter. Import, I'll just run it all through. If there is export, you type export. What we have next in the system is the BL. The BL cargo description is where you enter the description of what is in the container. So from what we have here, for instance, this one we have 1X 20 GP STC1 and the rest of them. So everything must enter in this column, and the system allows you to enter up to 50 characters. So here you enter the description of what is in the BL. I'll just copy from here. So after the BL cargo description, what you have next is the cargo type. And the cargo type we are focusing on here is container. And your cargo type must be in caps lock. After that, what you have next is the container number. Just like I mentioned earlier, your cargo ID is the same thing as the container number. So I'll just go to the cargo ID, copy all of them, and paste in the container number. what we have there next is the container size and the container size type. This is where you specify the size of the container. If it is the container size is where you enter the size of the container, if it is a 20 footer, if it is a 10 footer, or if it is a 40 footer. So this particular column and this size type works hand in hand. What we have in this container size type is the ISO standard code. So let's say we have in the container size type, we have 22 G1 so we have 22 G1 and we have 42 G1. Let's just assume this is what we have. So automatically the system is supposed to calculate this container size in this particular R column when you upload into the system. So even if what I enter here is 20 foot all through, the system will check the size of the container and calculate it once you upload it. Mind you, this is just for reference purpose. This is just for the purpose of this tutorial, and this is not like we have 40 and 20 here. But what I'm trying to show you here is that even if you add 20 all through here, or you make it blank, the system will calculate it when you upload. It will check the ISO code, and once it sees what is here, it understands if it is a 20 footer container, if it is a reefer or whatever, and it will update the necessary column. What we have next is a container classification. Now there are 5 container types. There are 5 standards container classification. We have the regular, we have the reefer, we have the OOG, we have the OTFR, and we have the hazardous. So let's just take all of them. Everything we have here is standard regular container. For the purpose of this tutorial, let's say what we have here is the standard regular container. So it can be either regular, reefer, OOG, OTFR, or hazardous. So these are the standard ones we have. It can be any of these, but for the purpose of this tutorial, let's just take regular as all. Then what next we have is container weight. Container weight, this is where you specify the weight of the container. So this is where you enter the weight of the container. I'll go to the sheet here. Copy the weight. then the package. A container package is where you enter if it is a piece, a package, a paper bag, a box, a unit, a pallet, or whatever that is there. So I'll just copy it and paste it here. If you look at this place, we have paper bag. So what is required here is just one word. I've changed it to bag. We have box, we have units, we have package, and the rest of it. So this information here might not be accurate, but it's just an example of what is required of you to add. The next one we have is the sale number. The sale number, you go to your file and you copy the sale number. So if you look at this column, we have the container package quantity. This package quantity is supposed to go to the description. What the information is supposed to go to the description. So the description is where you have one word, and the container package quantity is where you specify in figures, in numbers rather, the number of content inside the package. Let's say here we have 90, here we have 10, we have 20, we have 15, we have 100. I'll just duplicate this for the purpose of this tutorial. And the last one is the package description. Now the difference between this package description and the BL Cargo description is that in the package description you enter only one word. Is it a bag? Is it a piece? Is it a package? Is it a unit? But in the BL description you describe what is in the particular container. You describe it as brief as you can. So those are the headers and the information you're required to fill in them. Once I'm done, I'll just save. Make sure you save your file. And I remove this sheet because it's no longer needed. So once my file is saved, it is ready for upload. Next, we'll be talking about how to prepare the manifest for vehicle.